ya está limpio.
So today I'm gonna be making carnitas with my mom. She's gonna teach me. Yes, I don't know how to make carnitas, but after today I will learn.
No le voy a echar mucha.
Pero esta cazuela está bien grande.
Ya porque es muchas carnitas.
¿Como de cuántos galones? ¿3?
¿Esta?
Yeah.
Yo creo que de 3-4 galones.
So this is like a 3 or 4 gallon pot.
Y mira.
So that's a little bit of water.
Lo voy a poner acá porque ese está más grande. Esto, para hacer carnitas, se necesita la lumbre muy fuerte.
Okay. So she says you have to put the fire on very high to make carnitas. Or very high.
Very high. Dices tú, ya.
So here's the fire. It's very high.
Very high.
And the water, is very, very low. So my mom says the reason there's so little water in here is because when she puts the pork meat in here, the pork meat is gonna have lots of juices and stuff, so the pot will end up filling up with more liquid. And here's what kind of pork meat is this, Mom? Pork shoulders? Pork shoulders. So these are 2 pork shoulders.
2.
Oh, okay.
Porque tú vas a llevar carnitas para tu casa.
I know, pero the pack had 2 pork shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like she's scrubbing it and cleaning it with a knife because sometimes there's little hairs left over.
Y uno tiene que lavarlo bien el puerco porque...
She said you gotta wash it really good because
hot water.
With hot water. Okay.
Ahora, sin nombre sea de Dios.
So first she's gonna be taking the skin off, or in Spanish we call it los cueritos. And this knife is super sharp, so if you're gonna try to do this, you have to try to do it with a really sharp knife. So she cut her first piece off and put it in here.
Oh, no, ¿sabes qué? A ti te gustan los cueritos así blanditos, bien ricos. Te los voy a cocer aparte. Bájame esta olla.
So she's redoing it because she knows I like eating the cueritos nice and soft instead of being all crunchy.
Eso se cocina aparte.
So she's going to cook them separately in another little pot.
Y cuando ya están suavecitos y la carne está friendo, se les pone ahí adentro.
And when it's soft and the meat is already getting fried, then you put the cueritos back in there. So first you cook them separately, and then you put them in with the other carne, the other meat.
No se nos vayan a desbaratar.
Okay, so como sea. So that's how big one is gonna be.
¿Así la quieres o más chiquita?
Más chiquita. So how big do you normally do it, Ma?
A veces las hago grandotas, a veces chiquitas.
So she says sometimes she makes the pieces big, sometimes she makes them small because
Whatever you like it.
If you like it, the pieces smaller, then cut them smaller. But if you like the pieces bigger, then cut them bigger. Whatever your preference. She likes to make them bigger, that way they don't end up dissolving away in the
Cacerola.
and just becoming a dish of meat just everywhere.
Y luego dile, ya cuando terminen de hacer las carnitas, le sacas todo el aceite, puedes usar esa cazuela para hacer los frijoles refritos que yummy.
Ooh, she says after you finish cooking all this meat, it's going to have lots of grease. So you could take the grease away from the meat that's boiling, you can put it aside, and then you can make some refried beans with it. That sounds delicious.
Ouch.
Ow.
Yo no le pongo aceite, mucha gente pone mucho, en vez de agua pone aceite aquí. Yo no.
So she says sometimes a lot of people, when they make their carnitas, instead of putting the water that she put in there, they fill that much up with oil.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that. So she puts the water because anyways, this has lots of fat on it still.
Yes.
And it will
I
release.
use the own fat.
Yeah, she uses the own fat from the meat when it's cooking. This is already looking good.
Mira como tiene de gordura, so va a soltarlo. ¿Para qué no hay necesidad de ir a comprar 5 libras de manteca y echárselos? No.
She says there's no way you need more to add more fat into here because it has lots of fat already. You can see it on there. So just let it cook with the fat that's on the carnitas, on the pork shoulder. So this is almost what's left. Inside there's a bone. Yeah. So she's trying to be really careful, especially because she has gloves on and her hands keep slipping. I don't want her to get cut, but she's trying to cut off as much as the meat, of the meat that she can to put it in the pot.
Ahora sí, vamos a poner este hueso. Este huesito va a soltar mucha carne y va a dar un sabor a las carnitas muy delicioso.
So she said she just sets the bone in there now, and it's gonna have, the bone is gonna give the carnitas extra taste, and it's gonna release lots of meat off the bone. So yeah. And now she's gonna cook the other one. Or cut the other one, I mean. So I have to remind you guys that this is 2 pork shoulders. Usually, yeah, because we have a big family that we're gonna feed, and I'm gonna take some home. But normally you would probably buy just 1 pork shoulder. So everything I'm telling you here, like if the salt that we add and stuff, it's gonna be half if you're just gonna make 1 pork shoulder. So here I added 1 spoonful, like a regular spoonful that we eat with, of salt. And we have to keep checking the cueritos, the pig skin, because since these guys don't have any fat on them, she trimmed all the fat off. You have to keep adding water so they don't burn until they get soft enough, because this won't release any juices like the meat will. You have to keep adding water to this one, and I added already about a spoonful of salt.
Dile que esto es enough to feed from 20 to 25 people.
This is enough to feed 20 to 25 people, but we're only like 10, but we do eat a lot.
Yeah. Well, actually, we use it with beans or rice.
And she saves them.
Salsas.
Yeah, and she saves them too, and put them in the fridge, and she eats.
Make tacos?
And she makes all kinds of stuff with this. She brought me some the other day with refried beans. Oh, it was so good. And I had made some salsa, and I made some food for my husband like that. I just warmed it up and it was so good. He loved it. So right now my mom added salt to here, and I wasn't able to catch it, but look at, here's this, she puts the peppers, the whole peppers, and I always complain about it, but here we go. What, how many is she putting? Like 10, 7 or 8. And then so for the salt right now, I wasn't able to catch her, but she did like the palm of her hand. Not all the way full, but she did it like that and then poured it in. She said, I don't have measuring stuff, so this is how I do it. These are bay leaves. Bay leaves. They're not leaves from your tree. So if you see them in your, how many is that, Ma?
1, you can put it al gusto.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You
10.
Can put it any.
But you can put as many as you want for flavor.
Estos son healthy. Son healthy y son flavor.
So try to put it towards the bottom so it'll
dissolve.
So it'll dissolve and release the flavor into the water that's towards the bottom. She already put the other pork shoulder bone in there. She made some space. She took carnitas and put them to the side. Put the pork bone right here, and then she covered it back up. So here's the onion. You're gonna put all that in there, Ma?
Yeah.
The whole onion and the whole garlic?
Yeah.
Whole like that, or are you gonna chop it?
I'm gonna cut it a little bit.
Oh, so she doesn't chop it super small, but she doesn't leave it really big either.
No. Se van a desbaratar.
She says they're gonna fall apart as they're boiling. She's smashing each clove with her little rock. That way she can take out, that's how she peels them. But you can use whatever method you use for peeling the cloves. So she's gonna do this to the whole head of garlic. I can't talk today. All the stuff she added. She added the onion, the garlic, and the bay leaves, and now she said she's gonna cover it and let it cook. Yep. For about how long, Ma?
Oh, las carnitas dilatan, como son muchas.
So like an hour? More than an hour. She's gonna let it cook. And are you gonna be adding water to it, Ma?
No.
No. Okay, so with whatever it has, that's what it's gonna cook with, and for maybe an hour and a half. And this guy, we're gonna be adding more water and we're gonna keep watching it. And when it's almost done cooking, we'll add it over here. So this has been cooking for about an hour. And if you could see, there's the juices. Yeah. So the juice is getting more and more. Like it's filling up with the juice from the carnitas. It's releasing juice and liquid. So that's why she only puts a little bit of water, because look at all the extra water that's in there now. So she goes in and turns the ones that are on the bottom to the top and the ones that are from the top into the bottom so they can cook evenly. So we're now at the point where my mom's not going to cover the carnitas anymore. She said she's going to leave them uncovered so they will start to fry. So the water will start to dissipate and it'll start to become more of a oil instead of the liquid like this. So she's going to leave it open, and now we're going to start the frying process. It looks so good. So the pig skin is ready. It's done. So what my mom's doing is she's putting it here to drain it. After she drains it, she's going to throw it over here. Oh yeah. But be careful because it's really hot. My mom burns herself. Everything's hot and she doesn't, it's like she doesn't care. She's so used to getting burned. So it's starting to look like this. My mom took out the bones already. The bone, all the meat fell off the bone. So she finished up peeling more meat off the bone if it had any left. But this is what it's looking like. Still hasn't fried, but I got to taste them right now and it's so good.
The bone is gone. The bone is peeled. I peel
So
it.
that's the bone. It's still steaming and she's holding it. See what I mean about her being able to hold her being able to hold the heat? Okay, so these guys are
Frying.
frying, my mom said. So she's been removing the bay leaves as she finds them. It tastes so good because I just had a little piece and it's delicious. So she's mixing it up and then she's going to put in all the pig skin. Yummy.
De mi cocina a tu mesa.
She said from her kitchen to your table.
This is not de tu rancho, ¿cómo? De mi rancho a tu cocina, no.
No, de tu casa.
Sí. Mira. Ahorita se van a freír los cueritos. Es que, ¿pero te gusta la tierra, mija?
Yeah.
Mira.
Yeah. ¿Cómo? Yo no quería que vinieran por mí, the mechanic. Porque yo dije, pues todavía las carnitas no están.
Oh, ¿era por eso? Ahora sí vamos a ver un
This
ratito.
looks so
A que se
good.
fríen ya los cueritos, eso ya va a estar.
So this is the final product. And I've added some salsa on there. My mom makes the best salsa. Delicious.
No se dilató mucho, ¿verdad?
No, it didn't take that long. And I'm ready to eat. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I'm going to enjoy the carnitas. Bye!